I'm lit with the squad. Confidence of God.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Beerdojo. This is review number 4. Today we got Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. This is a strong one. It's an 8.2%er. Just to give you a little background on Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, I got my handy dandy laptop here to the side. And it says here, in regards to what exactly are the ingredients that bourbon ale is made of, it says here that it's 78% American two-row, which is two-row, T-R-O-W. That's also known as a brewer's malt. 8% caramel 40, 8%, I believe you say, carapils, which is another type of malt, and 6% malted wheat. So it looks like, for the most part, this is fully made of malt, a little bit of wheat malt as well. By the looks of it, I'm getting a vibe that this is going to be more of like a medium amber, so like a darker looking beer. This is an ale, which means that it's a top fermented brew. What that means is that the yeast is fermented from the top. Unlike Pilsners, for example, which we've done in a previous review, which is a bottom fermenting yeast, this is a top fermenting yeast. So there should be more foam when this one's poured. So I guess that does affect the amount of foam when pouring a beer, whether it's a top fermented yeast or a bottom fermented yeast. Apparently, from what I've read, bottom fermented yeast cause less foam at the top, but that also depends on the carbonation. So this one may have as much carbonation, but I'm banking that it's going to have low carbonation considering the amount of ABV that's in this beer. So let's find out. We're going to open it with a handy dandy wine opener. Right. First one of its kind. I believe all the ones we've done so far have not been in a bottle. So this 4th review is our first bottle review. I prefer bottle over can. Most people who drink beer, mainly because it tastes better coming out of there. Let's see. Already off rip, you could tell, like I said, it was going to be like a mid golden amber, perfectly foamed to the top. So I guess it's, I don't know if you would call this regular carbonation in a beer or lightly carbonated, but from the looks of it, the way it's poured, this is exactly how I envision a beer always being poured. And we got that mid-amber feel to it, which I love. This is looking like a good one. I'm excited to taste this. I feel like I'm going to get some caramel in there. I don't really know if it's going to taste. I'm definitely going to taste the malt for sure. There is caramel 40 in there, so they do add that ingredient into it. I don't know if that affects the color or just the taste. So let's see what we got here. Cheers. Oh, I like that. This is a dangerous beer. Now, I like whiskey. So when it comes to bourbon barrel, you know, kind of reminds me a little bit of whiskey in a sense. This actually might sound weird, but I could see this tasting really, really good with some coffee. Mix it in with some coffee, add a little bit of it would probably taste like a caramelized coffee, you know? Kind of like when you do Baileys with coffee. I don't know if that's really a good idea, but I mean, there is hints of coffee in other beers, such as, I believe it was the second review we did. First ever review we did was the Yangling Black and Tan Porter, and that had hints of chocolate and coffee in it. Almost tastes like it could be that, but definitely more flavorful. As soon as it hits the palate, I taste the caramel. It's a little bit oaky, but the caramel overtakes that oak feel. You could definitely taste a little bit of the alcohol in it as well. It's not as strong alcohol tasting as I thought it would be, which is why this makes this dangerous, because one of these being 8.2%, it's only going to take a few to really feel this. Definitely taste the ale in it. But right off the rip, I mean, it is the thing that surprises me is I actually really like the fact that it tastes pretty light and crispy to be a higher percentage beer in regards to ABV. In my experiences drinking beer, and this is not an IPA, but when I have had higher tasting ABVs, you either could really taste the alcohol in it, or it's heavily bodied, so there's a full aroma of taste to it that also kind of sits in your stomach for a little bit. I'm not getting that from this. Like, immediately tasting it, I would have thought this was just a regular beer that just had a little bit more of flavor to it. Definitely could taste the caramel coming through. Absolutely. All right, so let's rate this beer. This is a tough one. I do like it. Would this be a beer that I would drink on a regular basis? No, but I am a fan of whiskey. As I said before, reminds me a little bit of that. Matter of fact, skip the coffee. You throw a little whiskey bomb in there. Now we're talking. You know what I mean? That's all I would need for one night. Just give me one of those with a little, you know how they do the Jaeger bombs? Just do a whiskey bomb. That's even a thing. But we can make it a thing. Who knows? Maybe I'll make some concoction one day. But anyway, back to the rating. I like this one. I like this one a lot. I told myself when I begin doing these ratings, even though I get excited to try every beer, I have to give a pro rating. Just like Dave Portnoy would say, pro rating. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll be real with you. Like, even when it comes to women, I don't think I've ever given a woman a rating over 8.2. That's how hard the scale is. So I gotta kind of be like this with it, you know? And as we continue these beer reviews, it's going to become more of that. So anyway, all right. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. I do like it, though. It's from Kentucky, established in 1999. So it's 23 years old. Okay. I really like this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking about the color. I'm thinking about how it poured. I'm thinking about how it tastes. Surprised that it's lighter. I do like when they're lighter. This is a tough one, but you know what? I'm gonna give this bourbon ale oh man, this is tough. This is very tough. Wow. All right. I'm going to give this bourbon ale a 7.9. That's the rating. I was debating between a 7.9 and 8.1, but I'm going to give it a 7.9, which makes it the highest reviewed beer so far out of our 4 reviews on this channel. I'm excited to see how this feels in regards to the other lines that they have, because they do have other ones in their line. I did see them, but I wanted to start with their basic one first. If this is the basic one, I can only imagine what the others taste like. So there you go, 7.9. Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, straight from Kentucky, Lexington Brewing Company. Cheers.